about you guys, but for me, video games just feel so competitive and so sweaty. In fact, I'm looking for any way I can get myself a competitive edge. Not cheating, by the way. If you cheat, you're scum of the earth, you deserve to be locked up, thrown behind bars, keys thrown away. You don't even deserve to have a computer or even access to the internet. But luckily for us, Arbiter Studio just released 2 brand new keyboards at a 65 and a 75% that are both rocking magnetic switches and their 2nd generation Hall sensor, which is gonna increase performance, speed, and more. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I've never used their keyboard before, so I have no idea what to expect, but what I can tell you is I'm super excited to unbox this and experience it with you guys as well. Now, just to give you guys a heads up, I did get this keyboard for free. There's no money that exchanged hands. They don't get to see this review beforehand or have any say in what I say about the keyboard, but I am super stoked to try this out. Let's go ahead and get into the unboxing. All right, so inside the box here, we have the keyboard itself, which is gonna be part of their Kitsune editions. That's why you see the Kitsune and also the different kind of like symbols on the keyboard, which I'm gonna be honest, this thing actually feels pretty like beefy and like not too extremely heavy, like to the point where you can like knock someone out with it, but it feels like it actually has a really nice weight to it. Also, yo, if you look on the back, they actually have this beautiful little emblem, medallion. I don't know what you technically call this thing, but they have this in the back here. Polar Pro 65. I chose to go with the 65%. Kitsune right there as well too. And then for accessories in the box, all right, so we have additional keycaps, which look like they're basically to replace the spacebar here, the shift, and also the escape. So in case you want an all white build, or if you want a build with less kind of like design or markings on it. I think that's really cool because I think some companies just kind of put their branding on the keyboard and a lot of people don't want that. So it's nice to have the option to have less branding and just more aesthetics. And then we have the keycap puller and the switch puller right here. And then we have a braided USB Type-C cable that is just all black. But honestly, it's nice. I feel like it's actually a good quality cable. And then here we have the user manual, which basically just gives you shortcuts and stuff like that. And you can see here that it says it is a web app enabled device. We're gonna check that out later on. Not about you guys, but I'm like dying to type on this thing to hear what it sounds like. But before I do that, I do wanna let you guys know, in case anyone doesn't know what magnetic switches offer or these like sensors and stuff like that inside of the board, is that it allows you to be able to press the actual key and give it a different actuation point in software. So if you want a more of a sensitive key, or if you want a key that is less sensitive, you can change that based on whatever you want. So if I want like my WASD to be super sensitive, so that way I can jiggle peak and my movement is a little more crisp, I can do that. And then let's say if I fat finger like the E button too often, then I can go ahead and turn the sensitivity down on that specifically. It also does offer rapid trigger, which basically what that means is that as soon as the actual switch is released, the switch then stops reading that input, which means you can start inputting another input. Versus where most keyboards or traditional style switches, you actually have to wait for the actuation to hit the actuation point. So that means once it has to travel all the way up depending on where the actuation point is on that switch. All right, now without further ado, let's go ahead and let's try it out and see what it sounds like. Oh my God, I wanna scream right now, dude. This sounds so good. Oh my God. Dude, I don't know like what the sound signature is. I think it's almost like a marbly or something like that at the bottom of it that you can hear. Dude, I love the sound of this thing. This thing sounds incredible, which by the way, these switches are lubed. So I guess to go over some specs, I'm just gonna read it off here because I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember it. And I try and give more of like an experience-based what I think about the keyboard versus like text and specs. You have a Fuji Pro magnetic switch, which is a 36 gram linear switch. You also have adjustable actuation, which goes anywhere from 0.1 millimeters to 3.8 millimeters. You also got rapid trigger in there. You have dedicated volume controls for 75% form factor. So if you go with that one, I don't know, you're weird because you like larger keyboards, but at least you get a media key for that, so that's cool. You have 3 onboard profiles, which again, you can adjust with the actual web app itself. So in case you have different settings for Apex versus Valorant versus CSGO, you can actually save those profiles differently for each scenario, which I think is pretty awesome to be able to switch on the fly. And then it's also PCB mounted with screw-in stabilizers. It's a nano-coated PCB. It boasts ultra bright RGB, we'll be the judge of that. And then you also have a web app as well that you get to use to adjust it. And the reason why I really like the idea of having a web app to do it is because I feel like you can be more precise with it and you can actually see the numbers that you're adjusting. Some other performance boards that I've used in the past are all adjusted on board, which is cool. You could do that without software needed, but I actually like the idea of being able to really fine tune it within a software to make sure I'm getting the correct adjustments. Or in case, let's say if I want to change it from game to game, or I want to share people, you know, what my settings are, I can do that. But without further ado, dude. All right, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna head over to the computer. We're gonna see if we can test out the software, and then we're gonna try it out with a couple games between Valorant and then also Apex. And then I will give you guys my kind of like thoughts on the keyboard and what I think about it. Okay, so now that we're at my desk setup, we're gonna go ahead and plug this keyboard in and see what it looks like. I haven't even plugged it in yet. I didn't cheat you guys on that. So let's go ahead and plug it in and see what it looks like. I know it's just like on a basic rainbow, but that looks really good. I will say these are really bright. Like, hang on, I'm gonna turn off the lights real fast. That's actually pretty bright, I'm not gonna lie. Here, I'll show it on this camera, and then I'll even show it on this camera right here. There you go. Looks pretty good. I think it's pretty bright. I think it's actually really bright. I mean, honestly, so bright, it kind of coming through the back. I'm not gonna lie, I was hoping that the back would light up, but it doesn't, but that's okay. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna try and look up what the web app is so we can start messing around with that. Oh, wait. I'm gonna turn the lights back on, right? I guess you guys kind of want to see me, maybe, right? Okay, cool. So, all right, I was a little worried because at first it had no device connected. I was wondering if that was like maybe because this is like pre-launch, but go ahead, if we hit connect, it just shows the keyboard right up here in the left-hand corner, super easy. Hit connect. And there we go. Cool. So this is basically what the software looks like. As you guys can see, we have 3 profiles right here, and it looks like you can save them again. You can save them on board. This is probably gonna be the actuation. This, I'm assuming, yeah, is the color. And then this is gonna be your function. So whatever kind of like, you know, presets you want, whether you want like, you know, volume up, volume down, play media next, media back, media pause, that kind of stuff, then you can go ahead and do that right here. You even have the ability to adjust the function layer as well. So again, if we want to, let's go ahead. So we see that everything is set just to 1 millimeter, period. So I think if I just straight adjust this, okay, so we're actually selected everything. All right, so it looks like you can set the rapid trigger per key. So you can actually choose what keys you actually want that enabled on, which ones you don't. So it's actually kind of neat. And I'm assuming, okay, cool. So the left number is gonna be your regular just actuation. And then the right number is going to be the actual rapid trigger. But it looks like you can actually set per key if you want. So I can either select all, deselect any. It's actually really sick. I like that a lot. So if you want to set it per key for the actuation, all you have to do is just hit set per key. And then you can actually go ahead and highlight which keys you want the actuation to be changed for. So if you want the actuation to be like literally 0.1. So like you breathe on that thing and it's going to actuate. So what's really cool about this is that this is just a web app, which means I don't have to install this, but it actually connects automatically. So I can go and just connect my keyboard and it recognizes it. I don't have to worry about installing any programs on my computer. So that's actually a huge plus versus like having to weigh your computer down with someone's software just to like change things for your keyboard. You could even just like save this. Like I'm probably just going to end up saving this. Not under bills. Well, donor streaming. Done. Cool. So we're just going to save that. And there we go. So now we have that saved. All right. So I'm trying to, all right, so if I just like, now if I just like lightly, like you guys can see, I'm just like lightly let it bounce off the key. I'm going to try and yeah, I'm barely even pressing at all. And it's just actuating. And then the cool thing, so again, with rapid trigger is like, I can go ahead. So for anyone who doesn't know, here's an actual demonstration. I can take this and I can just go ahead and I don't have to let it come up all the way for it to be able to reactuate on the keyboard, which is nice. I can definitely, all right, that's sick. I can definitely feel the difference between the 0.5 and even just like the 0.1. Definitely makes a big difference, but the keyboard feels like really snappy. I mean, it feels good. I also like it too. So it feels, one thing I will mention about this keyboard is that it feels very stable. So previously, before, what I've had with some magnetic switches is that basically like they wouldn't feel really like that stable. So they'd have some wobble to it. These are just like, they're great to press down on. They don't have any wiggle room whatsoever, which is nice because you don't want to feel like you have some like weird like wiggling or anything like that, like some weird stuff going on. And I really don't feel like that at all. Okay, I feel like you can okay, I feel like I can definitely notice it whenever I'm just like trying to peek out, because if I time it right, like I feel like
there's that one little bit where I'm actually sitting still. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, but I feel like it's definitely like very responsive with just going back in and out, in and out, in and out. That feels incredible. I love that. That feels so good. Dude, my God, oh no. I think this is gonna be like my new main keyboard. I know what you guys think. Look, I'm not trying to show off that I'm good at shooting, okay? What I'm trying to show off is the fact that like I'm going out. So what I'm trying to do is show off you guys is that I'm able to go out and then come back in. And if you notice, like the accuracy is great. Like if I'm just like moving and I shoot, like it's all over the place, right? But with being able to jiggle peek like this, with this kind of a keyboard with how fast it is, basically whenever I'm actually poking out and then I come back in, like you see that like dead stop, but like you don't see me stop pressing the keys or whatever. But I still have that one little moment where I'm just like dead stop. I'm able to get that one shot, which is dead accurate. Like, see, I'm not like, you know, again, it's gonna take a little bit more practice. Like this takes a lot of practice to be able to perfect, to be able to just pop out like that and just, I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, but I just feel like this definitely helps with trying to jiggle peek and make sure that you're actually like going out, getting that one little frame that you can go ahead and shoot and then popping right back in. So that way you're exposed the least amount as possible. So it actually feels really, really good. But again, I really do think it's neat that you can have the two different profiles, right? So if I really wanted to, if I had them set up properly, I don't know what the hotkey is. I'd have to look up the hotkey, but I could basically just go ahead and switch from one profile to another. Oh, so it's just basically FN, Alt, and then 1, 2, or 3. So I could just switch to whatever I want. So if I really want to, I can switch to the 0.1 for every single thing. Rapid trigger, everything. And then I can also do 0.5. So again, that's really cool because if you play different games like Apex, right, where like movement is a big thing and maybe not so much like jiggle peeking, but if you play something like Valorant and CSGO, you can have different settings for those games specifically, which is kind of sick. So I actually really like that a lot, that you actually have the 3 different onboard that you can just switch in between, which I think is really cool. Oh my God. It just feels super responsive. Like, I guess that's one of the best things I can say is that it feels very responsive. And also a big thing with Apex is that if you want to try and learn how to super glide, what's cool is you can change the actuation between your space bar and your C, so then that way your crouch is different. So you can go ahead and get that perfect timing between, you know, when it actually works and when it doesn't to get that super glide. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to change. Okay, so basically what this is telling me is that whenever I press both at the same time, it says that it looks like I'm crouching too fast. And that's because probably the C button or the C key is higher. So what I should do is actually change it, right? So I can go ahead and set actuation by the key. So I'm going to get C, and I'm going to go ahead and change that to 0.5. We're going to save it. Now we're going to try. All right, so it's getting a little more consistent. It's a little bit too late. Okay, so let me go ahead and let's go ahead and change it to C to point, which is 1. Let's just do 1. See more green. See that? We got more greens and yellows coming up, and that's a big difference. Like that's a huge change between them, right? So let me see if I can maybe even fine tune it a little bit more. And that's what I love about the fact that you actually have a web app is I could just literally sit here and go in between the two. Whoops. Oh no, what did I just do? Oh no. Yeah, this is my 0.1. Okay, yeah, this is the 0.1. All right, set. All right, that's pretty close. I mean, I'm getting almost within like a frame, and I know it has to be perfect, but still. All right, let's see if I can actually hit a super glide now. There we go. All right, there we go. That was close. That was a bad super glide, but it was a super glide nonetheless. All right, I still hit it. But that's basically the reason why this is cool, having a keyboard like this, because you can sit there and you can fine tune that. And if you actually practice it, unlike me, and you actually got decent at it, this is just going to help you get a lot more accurate with it. Instead of having to like flip your space bar upside down or like worry about like how you're pressing the button, you can just press them at the same time and you can actually just get a lot more accurate reading. So just as a heads up, that's kind of why the keyboard like this is pretty cool. But yeah, I'm going to keep playing with it and mess around with it and stuff too to give you guys a full review. But I'm just going to go ahead and sit back down at the table, give you guys like a little send off. And yeah, but so that's basically the live test of it. Let's go ahead and get back to my setup over there so we can keep recording over there, right?
All right, so first impressions of the board. I'm actually a huge fan of this thing. It feels really good. Like it feels like a fantastic board. It's got good weight to it, and it doesn't feel too light or cheap. I really love whatever they did with the sound dampening and stuff on the inside. Sounds fantastic. Like I love the sound profile that it offers. Like, I am addicted to just typing on this thing. And again, how sturdy it feels, which is just fantastic. So I'm super pumped to try this keyboard out. I think it is so far like a really neat keyboard. I do like it quite a bit. But yeah, you guys should definitely check it out yourselves. I'm not sure the price. If I find the price out before this video goes live, I'll put it on the screen somewhere over here. But I was not told that at the time that I got this keyboard. I feel these are gonna be a really good competitor in the performance keyboard space. Again, I'm not sure about like the, technical, one-to-one performance stuff too, but I will say, I like it a lot. I think the color, the aesthetic of it, the look of it and stuff too. You get it in 75%, 65%, black or white, I believe are the two colors that they come in, either one. The best way to describe this is that this is almost like a performance keyboard meets a premium keyboard. Like it's somewhere in the middle there where it has the features of a performance keyboard that you want, but it still has like a fantastic build quality, unlike some other boards that I've used before, where a lot of the, I feel like the performance boards or even like other boards that have features like rapid trigger and stuff too, are generally gonna be just plastic builds and not like CNC aluminum like this. This feels fantastic. Like this feels like a really nice board when you're typing on it, when you're holding it and stuff too. The RGB, I will say, is very, very bright. So I think they actually did nail it on the head with that, where they said that. Yeah, I'm super pumped to continue using this, trying this out. This board, like I said, I think is beautiful and fits almost any aesthetic. And I really like the fact that if you don't want any of the branding really, you can get rid of it and just put the spacebar on there and do that. Because a lot of times you got this big old fat, like, thing on the spacebar or somewhere on the board. It has something that shows off, that it's like, so-and-so designed the board or whatever. So I think that's really, really neat that that is like a little small attention to detail that you can get rid of that branding and just have a cool aesthetic looking keyboard. But yeah, super huge thank you to Arbiter for sending this keyboard out. Let me try it out early and stuff like that. Super pumped, like I said, to get a more formulated opinion on it and try it for a little bit and really see what I think about it. So make sure you guys follow the channel, like and subscribe if you guys enjoyed the video, and also subscribe if you guys want to hear my final thoughts on this in a few weeks whenever I get some more time with it. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching the video. I appreciate it. Hopefully, if you guys are looking for a keyboard like this, I will leave a link in the description down below. At the time of posting this video, I don't have an affiliate link. Maybe I'll get one, I don't know. But if I do have an affiliate link, I will make sure that I label it. It's an affiliate link down below so you guys know that it is. But currently at the time of posting this video or making this video, I don't have an affiliate link. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. I appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one.